No government. What is the case for privatization? The case are two, ethical and economic. The ethical case for privatization is that it's compatible with the non-aggression principle. If things are private, then we can buy and sell, rent, lend, whatever, and there's no violation of rights. Whereas if it's done through the government, then there necessarily is a rights violation, because the government is per se an invasive organization because it taxes us and it doesn't have our permission to do so. None of us have signed a contract with the government. Therefore, when it's not private, namely when it's in the public sphere, then there are problems of ethics because there's compulsion. Later I'll get into the third possibility between government and private, and that's non-ownership, but I'll get into that when I do oceans. Okay, so the ethical case, I think, is clear. The case for economics, the economic case for privatization is we'll be wealthier if things are private than if they're not. The reason we have pretty good wristwatches and ties and shirts and shoes and cars and things like that is because if somebody doesn't do a good job, they can go broke and they have to exit and do something else. Whereas in the government, if they don't do a good job, like in the post office, they just keep on going and going. So that's one advantage. Another advantage is the advantage that Mises puts in, that if you have, to the extent that you have government, you don't have a rational economic system of prices that reflect scarcity. Hayek tells us that information emanates from free prices, and if you don't have free prices, the information that prices give you is not indicative of scarcity or desires or anything like that. And the third one is incentives. If we have something done by government, we have less incentive to produce because you can't fail. Another one is we as consumers have more control over producers than we as citizens have control over our politicians. We get to vote for our politicians once every 4 years. We get to vote for a dollar vote for our suppliers of goods and services every time we buy or sell something. So it could be every second or every day or whatever. Another reason is that in the market, you don't have to have a package deal. In the market, you could buy a violin and a motorcycle and a sailboat. In the case of the government, it's a package deal. If there are two parties and you like policies 1, 3, 5, and 7 of one party and 2, 4, 6, and 8 of the other, you got to pick one or the other. You just can't get one from column A and one from column B. You can't pick what you want. Whereas in the market, you can go and pick this, you can pick that, you can satisfy yourself. There's no package deal imposed upon you. Now, there are package deals.